is your Aquarius full moon outlook for August 9th, 2025. So the moon is at about 17 degrees of Aquarius, and it is opposed the sun in Leo at about 17 degrees. So Aquarius, what is Aquarius? Aquarius is the 11th house. Aquarius is ruled by unexpected Uranus. And in this case, the moon in Aquarius is, well, a little bit more than just past Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So, with that said, just before the Aquarius full moon on August 9th, there's going to be likely a little bit of a concern with those in positions of authority or power because we have the moon approaching the conjunction with Pluto. And then, of course, it is the build-up to the full moon in Aquarius. So, yes, just days before the Aquarian full moon, there's going to be some kind of a or more than one shocking or jarring event. Remember, Aquarius loves to shock. So, yes, indeed. And then as we get into the full moon on the 9th, that is when we will have to figure out what we can do to quelch or alleviate the issues connected with those in positions of power or authority. And keep in mind, Pluto is connected with the Scorpio sign and the eighth house, and it is retrograde, so Pluto is not at its best right now. And that leads me to believe that there's going to be some kind of secret or information that comes about just before that full moon in Aquarius. And as aforementioned, we will be a little bit shocked or surprised about exactly what happens. It is hard to say exactly what it is, but you can guarantee it has something to do with secrets being exposed or some surprising incidents. And again, with those in authority and so on and so forth, because that is what Pluto is about. It's about power. And with the full moon in Aquarius, there's going to be possibly, but not always, some issues connected with our humanity, how we treat each other, our interactions, our communications. Also, the topics of conversation right now. And of course, as always, with Aquarius in the 11th house, it's all about the future. AI, technology, computers, and yes, there could be some issues along these lines with these incidences. And what else is Aquarius? It's about groups and to some degree our charity, our kindness, and as aforementioned again here, our humanity to each other. But Aquarius is an air sign and it's very social. So there may be a social concern, which, by the way, may or may not be connected with whatever incident occurs just days before this full moon. And it's about what? It's about justice. Because we have polar opposites here with this full moon. Leo, Sun, and the full moon in Aquarius just past Pluto in Aquarius. So there could be an incident or incidents where, because information is coming out, we may be polar opposite about agreements or whatever our opinions are, Aquarius, our beliefs about justice, about right, and about wrong. And to further this, there is a beautiful grand air trine between Mars, the action planet, Uranus in Gemini, and Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So we are going to be really good at expressing our ideas, our opinions, and the relationship theme and the group theme is going to be accentuated here because one of the grand trine involving Aquarius Pluto and the moon in Aquarius just past Pluto. But here we have Mars, the action planet, in Libra. Now, it is very early, only at 1 degree. However, it falls in that grand air trine about ideas, communications, a lot of ideas, kind of fast and furious discussions right now. And it's about relationships, groups, because that's Libra. Our action is going to be about really discovering what we think about a certain situation. And this is in air. So, what is air? Air is communication, it's the air waves, and heightened more so because we have Uranus at 1 degree of Gemini. So all air signs here are very chatty, very expressive because that's air. So there's going to be a lot in the news, a lot over the communication efforts, social media, the news, television, uh, yeah, social media, what have you. A lot of fast and furious discussions about what we think and feel about a certain issue or issues right now connected with justice, our humanity, right and wrong, the future. So certainly right now during this Aquarius full moon until the following new moon, there's going to be an awful lot of knowledge air going around. And that's also going to be what is accentuated because what is air? Air is knowledge. Air is detached. So the good news is here, we can have intelligent discussions without getting too dramatic. This is good. We don't want to get emotional. We don't want to welcome too much intensity, although with Pluto here retrograde, there may be a tinge intensity, but it's all about some kind of topic or topics that is involving, again, right and wrong, this and that, and our intelligent input and conversations about the future. And because of this air grand trine, there may be very good news regarding inventions or uninvention right now, or computers, space technology, AI, and so on and so forth. Something that will make us feel excited about the future, something that we really think is really cool. So that's a positive for this grand air trine. And of course, with all relationships, it's all about talking everything through because that's air. Likes to talk, likes to think, very intelligent, And with Aquarius, Gemini, and Mars in Libra, it's all about groups and connecting with each other, kind of a united front, if you will. But it does stem from some incident or incidents that are building up to this full moon. And we have a sextile between Saturn and Neptune, also retrograde to Pluto. So that kind of helps to really spur on our enthusiasm for what information is going to come about. But remember, Pluto is retrograde, and Pluto is connected with Scorpio in the 8th house. And Saturn and Neptune are, that conjunction is a little bit deceptive because it is retrograde. So it leads me to believe that furthers this information about deception. Are we being told the truth about something? We are awfully enthusiastic with that fire connection to get to the bottom of something. Neptune is there, so we may feel like, hey, we're not being told the truth here. And keep in mind, this is personal too in our lives. We may feel like we need to get to the bottom of a problem or persistent issue. And Saturn kind of initiates blocks, and Neptune kind of initiates confusion and deception. And with these planets retrograde, even in a sextile air and fire with Pluto, well, that only adds to frustration, even though it is a positive major aspect. So we're really feeling like, we know something's just not quite right, but Saturn is putting on the brakes and Neptune's applying the deception and confusion. But eventually, once these planets move to direct position, we'll figure out what some of these answers are indeed. Yes. And we do have Jupiter, the lucky planet in Cancer, with a bit of a wide 3-degree conjunction with Venus, and that is exceptionally positive. Furthermore, for this time during the Aquarian full moon. Why? Because what is Jupiter? Jupiter is very lucky. It's about good fortune, and Jupiter likes to do everything in a big way. And Venus is in Cancer as well. And Venus is about the material, is connected with money, finances, beauty, of course. And Venus is also kind of the planet of that which is about ease and about comfort. And when you put Venus, the planet of beauty and the material and ease, with the planet Jupiter that is about expansion and prosperity, and they are in the sign of Cancer, which is connected with the 4th house, well, we may have some good news regarding the economy or finance. So we may receive an abundance or simply good news regarding real estate. Also, what is Cancer? It's about our living situation. It's about home and family. And it's also about giving. It is also about charity and protecting and nurturing. So there's going to be discussion about possibly that which has to do with families, with nurturing, with protectiveness, and some good news with home, family, finance, and of course, Cancer with either the economy, real estate, stock market, and so on. So we're going to get some really good financial news in August during the time of the full moon. And we have the sun, as mentioned, in not in Aquarius, in Leo right now, with, of course, the full moon in Aquarius. And Leo kind of gives us a shot of confidence because remember, Leo loves the show. Yes, indeed. So we're going to have a sense right now of our creativity, a little bit of our ego, but in a good way. And Leo is also very good-hearted because that's also what Leo rules in astrology is the heart circulation. So this is a time that we really want to express ourselves. And hey, with this full moon in Aquarius, well, we're going to be doing a lot of that, a lot of expression during the time of the full moon. And Mercury is still retrograde at 4 degrees of Leo. So we are also thinking rather originally because although the sun and Mercury are not conjunct technically, they are literally in the same sign, and Mercury is in Leo. So it is a very inventive, creative time. And Mercury, however, does make a trine to Saturn and Neptune. So yes, indeed, it is a very creative, original time. We're talking Aries by Leo. So there's going to be thoughts right now that maybe we want to start up our own startup or our own business. However, because we've got so many planets right now retrograde, including Mercury and Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, this is a time to do thinking about some of those projects. You may not want to act on signing those contracts at this time. Give it another month and really think about if you want to start a business, how are you going to plan? Because Aries is a leader. You really want to take charge of some of those projects. And with Mercury in Leo, even though it is retrograde, it is making a trine to Saturn and Neptune. So that can be very unique as far as expressing, Leo, your thoughts about how you would like that personal business idea, whatever it is, project that you are beginning right now. So even though there is the retrograde effect, so to speak here, it is a good time to really reflect. And with Neptune there, well, reflection is a really good thing to do. It doesn't hurt to really go over some of those dreams and thoughts for the future, Aquarius. So there's a lot of this future talk right now. And with Mars in Libra, it does make an opposition to Saturn and Neptune here. So although it does fall into a grand air trine, it does make this opposition to Saturn and Neptune. So we're going to, we are going to discover some setbacks in relationships as well. So although it's very good for our ideas and overall communicating and really standing up for our cause and relationships and whatnot, and that sense of beauty and really expressing our ideas, there is this opposition with Saturn and Neptune. So that is about our desires, Aries, what we want, and the opposition of Mars in Libra. So somewhere we're going to have to create that balance between give and take, and that's going to be a theme now about our relationships. How much are we objective and subjective in our relationships to each other? It's about give and take and finding that balance. And when we find ourselves frustrated during this time of the full moon, we will have to look to what is the positive, kind of cutting out the dead weeds, so to speak. What is positive about our relationships, what is negative, and kind of starting fresh, kind of a lot of the stuff from the past coming up. So we're going to have to kind of dig into the past to kind of make corrections regarding our relationships of all types, family, romantic, even possibly work relationships. How can we create that balance? When we are frustrated, it's not about the me first, the Aries, it's about really kind of blending our ideas and thoughts with that Mars in Libra, because Mars is not at its best in Libra, and with the retrograde Saturn and Neptune in Aries, well, right now, if we find we are a little bit frustrated in relationships or a little bit disappointed, pull back and find what is the good here. Find that balance. And that's going to be a focus of our attention right now. So this is a good time during this Aquarius full moon, but it's going to be about connecting with each other. It's going to be a flurry of super communications of all kinds. It's going to be about standing up for what we believe is right and wrong. Yes, some information is going to come out that is going to get our thoughts, our opinions, our need to be expressive and voice those opinions, and in groups. It's about our humanity. It's about really focusing on the future. And hey, we've got some good financial news that's going to really give us a shot in the arm for the future here. So prosperity is on board. So if we can detach with all this air influence and really open up, connect, relate, that's what the theme is during this Aquarius full moon, and we will see it is going to be very productive indeed.